Charles Barkley, affectionately known as Sir Charles, is a basketball icon renowned for his exceptional rebounding skills and his outspoken, humorous personality. Growing up in poverty in Leeds, Alabama, where his father abandoned the family, his mother worked as a maid to make ends meet, and he witnessed the tragic death of his stepfather in an accident at the age of 11. Barkley overcame immense hardships to conquer the NBA. Today, he lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Scottsdale, boasts a collection of luxury Bentleys and Porsches, and indulges in lavish nights at Las Vegas casinos. However, Barkley's life hasn't been without its controversies. A 1991 incident where he spat on an 8-year-old girl and a 1997 bar fight where he threw a man through a window tarnished the reputation of the beloved star. These scandals cost him lucrative endorsement deals and drew boos from crowds across the country. Despite the public backlash, Barkley faced his challenges head-on, working to rebuild his image and continuing to inspire millions of basketball fans worldwide. How did Sir Charles achieve this? Was it solely due to the power of his financial empire? Let's delve into the colorful life of Charles Barkley. If you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and share for more engaging content. The first black child, born in a whites-only hospital. Charles Barkley, the name evokes a basketball legend with an iron will and innate talent. But before he was Sir Charles, or Round Mound of Rebound, his childhood was a tumultuous journey, marked by hardship and loneliness, which forged the resilient man we know today. Charles Wade Barkley was born on February 20th, 1963, in Leeds, Alabama, a small town 17 miles from Birmingham, where racial segregation still cast a long shadow. He was the first black child born in a whites-only hospital, a challenging start to life. His father, Frank, abandoned the family when Charles was young, leaving his mother, Charcy Glenn, to raise him alone with her meager earnings as a maid. According to the Encyclopedia of Alabama, the Barkley family lived in a cramped house where full meals were a luxury. Charles grew up barefoot, in worn-out clothes, with dreams that seemed far too big for his circumstances. School wasn't easy for him. As one of the first black students at Leeds Elementary School, Charles often faced cold stares and taunts from his peers. He was short, overweight, and no one thought he could play basketball. At Leeds High School, he wasn't even selected for the team until his senior year. Then, a sudden 6-inch growth spurt during the summer before his senior year changed everything. That night, standing in front of the mirror, he clenched his fist and thought, "This is my chance." From an overlooked kid, Charles exploded with 19.1 points and 17.9 rebounds per game in his final season, leading the team to the state semifinals. But life wasn't just about basketball. When Charles was 11, his stepfather, Clee Glenn, who had filled the void left by his biological father, died in a car accident, leaving the family devastated. Charcy worked day and night, while Charles took on the responsibility of looking after his 2 younger brothers, John and Daryl. In the afternoons, he stood outside the public basketball court watching other kids play, his heart heavy because he had to go home and help his mother instead of pursuing his passion. This loss, as he recounted on The Famous People, taught him that life waits for no one. You have to fight for yourself. When he entered Auburn University in 1981, Charles carried the baggage of his difficult past. He weighed over 300 pounds and was mockingly called Round Mound of Rebound, but he turned it into his strength. In 3 seasons, he averaged 14.1 points and 9.6 rebounds per game, becoming the 1984 SEC Player of the Year. Despite not graduating due to a missed Spanish class, Charles left Auburn early to enter the 1984 NBA draft. He stood there amidst doubts and pressure, ready to step into a new world. Charles Barkley's childhood is a story of a boy who overcame poverty, prejudice, and loss to achieve his dreams. Charles Barkley left Auburn with a burning fire in his heart, turning his difficult past into motivation to shatter all limits in the NBA. An overweight guy once underestimated led the league in rebounding with unexpected strength, dominating the court with relentless shots. He dared to face Michael Jordan in the 1993 finals with fiery eyes, leaving the mark of a warrior who, without a perfect physique, still amazed the world. Challenging Michael Jordan, the giant who dared. In 1984, Charles Barkley was selected 5th overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA draft. He joined a team that had won the championship in 1983, but was past its prime. In his first game, he was clumsy, scoring only 6 points against the Boston Celtics and heard jeers from the crowd. But Charles didn't give up. That night, he stood in front of the mirror in the locker room, clenched his fists, and told himself, "They'll remember me." He threw himself into practice, turning his overweight physique into a weapon, leading the league in rebounding with an average of 14.6 per game in the 1986-87 season, according to Basketball Reference. His progress didn't stop there. In 1992, Barkley was traded to the Phoenix Suns after 8 championship-less years in Philly. There, he exploded, leading the Suns to the 1993 finals against Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. Although they lost 2-4, Charles averaged 27.3 points and 13 rebounds per game, winning the season's MVP award, a powerful response to all the doubters. He stood on the court after the final game, sweat dripping, heartbroken for not winning the championship, but his eyes still burned with determination. Then, more hardship struck. In 1996, he joined the Houston Rockets with hopes of winning a championship, but injuries and age dashed his dreams. He played only 4 seasons, never making it past the second round of the playoffs. During those days, Charles sat on the bench, watching his teammates play, his heart heavy. But he didn't let failure define him. In his 16-year career, he scored 23,757 points, grabbed 12,546 rebounds, and was an 11-time All-Star, according to NBA.com. Despite not winning a championship ring, Barkley is still one of the greatest power forwards in history. After retiring in 2000, Charles transitioned into a basketball analyst on TNT, where his deep voice and candidness won over audiences. He turned his years of setbacks into lessons, sharing on Inside the NBA. "I don't need a ring to prove who I am." Those words rang out like a bell, reminding listeners that success isn't just about titles, but about the journey of overcoming oneself. Charles Barkley's career is a vivid testament that you can start from the bottom, be ridiculed, be doubted, but still rise with will and talent. He wasn't perfect, he didn't have a Hollywood ending, but that resilience made him an icon. For those who witnessed him play, it's a story of a man who dared to face adversity, rise stronger, and leave an indelible mark. Charles Barkley left the NBA with a legacy that wasn't just about his iconic rebounds, but also the gateway to a mysterious and luxurious financial empire. From his humble beginnings with a $307,000 annual contract with the 76ers, he turned every play into gold, building an $80 million fortune by 2025, with a grand Scottsdale mansion featuring a mini golf course and private pool nestled in the Arizona desert. His car collection, from a sleek Bentley Continental to a classic Porsche 944, roars like a declaration that he has surpassed his old limits. A contract marred by racial discrimination. The 1970s in Alabama weren't easy for a black boy. Poverty, racial discrimination, and doubt from those around him were shadows that clouded his childhood. When he entered the NBA in 1984 with the Philadelphia 76ers, his first contract was only $307,000 per year, a modest sum compared to the stars of the time. But Charles didn't let circumstances define him. He took to the court, turning every rebound into a statement, and by 1993, when he signed a 5-year, $18.9 million contract with the Phoenix Suns, he proved that talent and will could open the doors to wealth. In total, during his 16-year NBA career, he earned $40.6 million in salary, according to Basketball Reference. But that was just the beginning. After retiring in 2000, Barkley transitioned into an analyst on TNT, signing a 10-year, $100 million contract in 2022, according to Celebrity Net Worth. Despite losing $10 to $30 million to gambling, he bounced back, building a net worth of $80 million by 2025, a living testament to his resilience and vision. Real estate, the mansions of Sir Charles. If anything showcases Barkley's explosion of success, it's his real estate. Mansions that reflect his triumph over adversity. The most notable is his Scottsdale, Arizona mansion, which he bought in 1998 for $2.2 million while playing for the Suns. According to Celebrity Net Worth, the 9,000-square-foot house on a 2.4-acre lot is now worth $6 to $8 million. With a mini golf course, private pool, and 12 bathrooms, it's not just a home, it's a symbol of the luxury he built for himself. Standing on the balcony overlooking the Arizona desert ablaze with sunset, he might smile, remembering the days when he only dreamed of a decent home. But Barkley didn't stop there. He owns other properties, a home in his hometown of Leeds, Alabama, where he returns to stay connected to his roots, and one in Philadelphia, the city where his NBA dream began. While there are no exact figures on their value, these properties, according to CA Knowledge, are part of his diverse investment portfolio, from Houston to New York. Each house is a brick in the empire he built, step by step, escaping poverty to reach the top. Car collection, speed, and class. Charles Barkley doesn't just drive on the court, he drives fast machines in real life. His car collection, worth about $479,000, according to Urban Splatter, is a statement of his taste and success. The star in his garage is a 2011 Bentley Continental Sports, priced at $267,000, a luxury beast with handcrafted leather interior and a powerful V8 engine. He walked into the showroom, placed his hand on the sleek body, and told the salesman, "I want it to have my style." Next to it is a 2020 Lincoln Navigator L Black Label, priced at $88,299, perfect for a tall man with an active lifestyle. But Barkley also keeps it real. A 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E, priced around $50,000, shows he's not just chasing luxury, he's embracing the electric car trend, combining speed and environmental awareness. Also in the collection is a 2022 Audi A4, $51,995, and a 1988 Porsche 944 Turbo, a classic gem that recalls his fighting days on the court. Each car is a reward he gave himself, from his worn-out shoes to the roar of the engine echoing on the highway. Investments and lessons from failure. Barkley's wealth isn't just in material possessions. He's also an investment master. He pours money into real estate, stocks, and even technology, like his investment in NeuroVoice, a medical company that improves patient experience. While he doesn't disclose the figures, this is a smart move from a man who once lost millions to gambling. He once sat in his Scottsdale living room looking at financial data, telling himself he had to do things differently. And he did. Endorsement deals with Nike, T-Mobile, and McDonald's brought in tens of millions of dollars, helping him rebuild after his falls. An admirable legacy? As Charles Barkley turned 62 in 2025, his $80 million fortune isn't just a number. It's the story of a man who rose from poverty, prejudice, and mistakes. His Scottsdale home isn't just a place to live. It's where he teaches his children the value of hard work. His car collection isn't just a hobby, it's a testament to his journey from bare feet to the top. For those who saw him play, who heard him commentate on TNT, it's a reminder that you can start from zero, fall hard, but still rise to build an empire. Charles Barkley isn't just wealthy. He's a symbol of resilience, moving people's hearts and making them believe that no matter how tough life gets, you can still reach for the stars. Charles Barkley isn't just good at making money, he's also a master at turning money into luxurious, unique experiences that everyone admires. With a fortune of tens of millions of dollars earned from the court and the small screen, Barkley doesn't hesitate to spend to live a life that many only dream of. From high-end travel and golf to extravagant gambling, he doesn't just enjoy, he turns every moment into a declaration of freedom and class. A high-rolling gambler who spends tens of millions in Las Vegas. Luxury travel, king of getaways. Barkley is known for splurging on extravagant travel experiences. He frequents the most luxurious destinations, from the beaches of Monte Carlo to the resorts of the Bahamas. According to Travel Plus Leisure, one of his most memorable vacations was at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas, where he rented a penthouse suite for $10,000 per night, complete with a private pool and a view of the famous fountains. Barkley once stood on the balcony sipping red wine, feeling the cool night breeze, filled with a sense of victory. This wasn't just relaxation, it was his way of reminding himself that from a poor boy in Alabama, he had conquered the world. Golf, a green passion. But if there's one pastime Barkley indulges in, it's golf, a sport he loves so much that he's willing to spend thousands of dollars to play at the most prestigious courses. He's a regular at Shadow Creek in Nevada, where a round of golf can cost $500, not including the lavish service fees. Despite his famously awkward swing, often mocked on Inside the NBA, Barkley doesn't care. He stands on the fairway, the sun shining, laughing loudly. "I play because I like it, not to be good." With a set of tailor-made golf clubs worth thousands of dollars, he turns every swing into a fun time, a declaration that money is for enjoying, not counting. Gambling, betting on fate. It wouldn't be Barkley without mentioning gambling. He's a notorious gambler, willing to wager millions of dollars at blackjack or roulette tables in Las Vegas. According to ESPN, he once admitted to losing $10 to $30 million to gambling in his career, but that doesn't stop him from returning. At the Wynn Casino, he's often seen at the VIP tables, where bets can reach $25,000 per hand. That night, the neon lights reflected in his eyes, a glass of whiskey in his hand, Barkley felt the adrenaline rush, a feeling no different from facing Michael Jordan on the court. For him, gambling isn't just a risk, it's how he lives life to the fullest, burning every moment with audacity. Living like a king. Charles Barkley uses money to turn life into a lavish party. From traveling around the world, golfing under the golden sun, to thrilling card games, he doesn't hesitate to spend to enjoy himself. For those who saw him fight on the court, this is a reminder that success isn't just about making money. It's about how you use it to live fully. Barkley isn't just a star, he's a man who knows how to enjoy the peak, moving viewers with a brilliant and regretless life. The above are the hobbies and interests of Kobe Bryant that we have gathered from various sources. If you want to know more interesting details about the behind-the-scenes life of this coach, we encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate information. Barkley's talent is undeniable. But behind the glamour are stains, scandals that turned him from an idol into a critic in the public eye. For a generation that saw him dominate the court, these controversies not only dimmed his glory, they made people wonder, who is he really besides the spectacular rebounds? From the shocking act of spitting on a little girl to drunk driving and shocking statements, Barkley is a whirlwind that carries both love and anger. Spitting on an 8-year-old girl. One of Barkley's biggest scandals occurred in 1991 when he spat on an 8-year-old girl during a game between the 76ers and Nets. According to Sports Illustrated, he aimed at a heckler who was taunting him but hit the innocent child. The image of Barkley, the hero of Philly, becoming someone who made a child cry in the stands caused public outrage. He was fined $10,000 and suspended for 1 game, but the lasting image was the disappointed eyes of fans. That night, in his hotel room, he sat silently, holding a bottle of water, his heart heavy. I went too far. Although he later apologized and called it his biggest mistake, that stain remains a thorn in the hearts of viewers. Not stopping there, in 1997, Barkley again caused a storm when he threw a man through a glass window in an Orlando bar. According to ESPN, the man threw rocks at him, and Barkley responded with punches and a violent shove. He was charged with assault, but showed no remorse, bluntly stating, "If someone bothers me, I'll teach him a lesson." That action might be self-defense in his eyes, but to the public, it was the image of a star out of control, willing to use violence instead of words. Barkley went to court, paid a fine, but his reputation plummeted, labeled a thug in the eyes of those who once cheered him. Then came the drunk driving scandal in 2008 in Scottsdale, Arizona. Barkley was arrested after running a red light, his breath reeking of alcohol. What made things worse? He told the police that he was in a hurry to meet a woman to relax, according to TMZ. That statement, vulgar and unapologetic, was like a slap in the face to fans. He was jailed for 3 days, lost endorsement deals, and had to temporarily leave TNT for 2 months. The public turned their backs, calling him a hypocrite for criticizing others while destroying the image he had built. Shocking statements also contributed to making Barkley a storm center. In 2020, on Inside the NBA, he defended the police in the Breonna Taylor case, saying that her death was not like other police brutality cases, a view completely contrary to the wave of outrage from the black community. Public opinion exploded. Many called him a traitor, accusing him of turning his back on his own roots. Barkley stood on the line without apologizing, only responding with his familiar stubbornness. Charles Barkley doesn't hesitate to confront, but the price he pays is the affection of the public. From DUIs, violence, to divisive words, he makes people wonder, is this a genius or a self-destructor? For those who once admired him, it's the pain of disillusionment, a bright star now obscured by his own mistakes. Barkley is still Barkley, but in the eyes of many, he is no longer the Sir Charles of the past. Charles Barkley, with his explosive strength and personality, has a private life full of emotions, from sweet to challenging. His marriage to Maureen is not a perfect fairy tale, but it is a living testament to enduring love, forgiveness, and the strength of family. A lasting marriage. Despite cheating allegations, Charles met Maureen in the late 1980s at a restaurant in Pennsylvania, when he was a star for the Philadelphia 76ers, and she was a legal assistant and part-time model. According to People, they married on February 9, 1989, a bold decision at a time when interracial marriages were still heavily scrutinized. Charles's parents strongly opposed the marriage and refused to attend the wedding, leaving him standing at the altar with pain in his heart. But when Maureen took his hand, walking past the skeptical eyes, Charles knew he had found a true companion. That same year, they welcomed their only daughter, Christiana, named after a shopping mall in Delaware that he loved, a humorous detail he once shared on the Steam Room podcast. Their marriage hasn't been without its storms. In 1993, rumors of Charles's affair with Madonna during the finals against the Bulls shook the family. He denied it, but the pressure from the press caused Maureen's mother to be hospitalized due to stress. Ultimately, Maureen chose silence, didn't leave, and they weathered the storm together. In 2008, his DUI, being arrested for drunk driving and using vulgar language with the police again tested her patience. But Maureen stayed, a silent support that helped him get back on his feet. Barkley's private life is also filled with warm moments with family. He and Maureen live in Scottsdale, Arizona, where he enjoys watching movies with Christiana or playing with his grandson Henry, born in 2022. On the Golf Channel, he once beamed, "Being a grandfather is the best thing in my life." In the evenings, he often sits next to Maureen on the sofa, laughing as she teases him about his weight, a simple closeness that he cherishes. In 2021, Charles left work at TNT to walk Christiana down the aisle at her wedding to Ilya Hoffman, a moment he called the most special day on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Now, at 62, Charles and Maureen have been together for 36 years, a journey that hasn't been easy but is full of meaning. He once said on the volume, "She accepts all my flaws, that's the secret." For those who admired him on the court, this story is a confirmation that even a strong man like Barkley needs a harbor, and Maureen is that harbor. Their marriage isn't flashy, but it's real, deep, making people believe that true love can overcome all storms, leaving a precious home. Charles Barkley is remembered by fans not only for his talent, but also for his warm heart. For those who have experienced hardship, his story is like a breath of fresh air, showing that you can rise from the lowest place and help others with your success. His influence and charity aren't just about tens of millions of dollars, but a flame that warms hearts in need of hope. Donating tens of millions to black communities. After retiring, he joined TNT with Inside the NBA, where his deep voice and candor won over millions of viewers. But what makes him special is how he uses that voice to inspire. He once stood before children in Leeds, Alabama, holding a microphone saying, "I used to have nothing, but I never gave up." Those words, according to ESPN, echoed like a call to action for those struggling out there. Charity is where Barkley truly shines. He has donated over $10 million to historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, like Alabama A&M, Morehouse, and Spelman, according to Forbes. In 2023, he pledged $5 million to Auburn University to support scholarships for black students, a powerful move after the Supreme Court's ruling on affirmative action. Barkley doesn't just write checks, he takes action. In 2021, he gave $1,000 to each employee of Leeds City Schools, where he used to study, totaling $226,000, according to AP News. On a cold morning, he stood in the middle of his old schoolyard, handing out envelopes, his eyes sparkling as he saw their smiles, as if he was repaying a debt to his own childhood. Barkley also doesn't forget the soldiers. He supports the Wounded Warrior Project with hundreds of thousands of dollars, even visiting the Intrepid Center in San Antonio to shake hands with veterans and listen to their stories. Once he sat next to Chad Pfeiffer, who lost a leg in Iraq, at a golf tournament, quietly pulling out his wallet and sending an extra $25,000 after losing a bet. For him, it's not just money, it's how he says thank you with action. Charles Barkley isn't just a star, he's a man who knows that true success lies in lifting others up. From scholarships that open futures, meals for the homeless, to handshakes with veterans, he makes people believe that a boy from the slums can change the world. For those who saw him play, his legacy is a promise that no matter where you start, you can leave a lasting mark. Charles Barkley, at 62, is still a flame that never goes out, a man who stepped out of the dusty streets of Leeds, Alabama, to become an irreplaceable icon. For those who lived through the days of watching him dominate on the court and now on the small screen, Barkley isn't just a voice, he's the heartbeat of resilience, of unwavering passion. His present and future this year is the story of a man who keeps moving forward, carrying both his heart and fighting spirit. The soul of Turner Network Television. Currently, Barkley remains the heart and soul of Inside the NBA on TNT. Even though this is the final season, the NBA will appear on the network before broadcasting rights shift to ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. On February 4th, 2025, he announced on The Steam Room that he declined offers from NBC and Amazon, choosing to stay with Turner Sports because "my heart has always been here," according to AL.com. He sits in the studio, the bright lights illuminating his wrinkled but still radiant face, laughing loudly as he teases Shaq or debates with Kenny Smith. That's Barkley today, a man who doesn't just work, but lives every moment to the fullest, as if every word is a rebound he once fought to grab. Off-screen, Barkley enjoys family life in Scottsdale, Arizona. He spends time golfing with his grandson Henry, standing on the lush green field, feeling each breeze as a reward for years of hard work. Maureen, his wife of 36 years, remains a solid support. He once held her hand, looking out at the desert sunset, thinking, "This is all I need." But Barkley doesn't stop at comfort. He's a man who always moves forward. In 2025, Barkley plans to expand his role at TNT, even without the NBA. He's involved in commentating on new sports that TNT is developing, such as college football playoffs and NASCAR, according to Deadline. He stands in the meeting room with the production team, his deep voice ringing out. "I want to do something different so people remember I'm not just about basketball." Additionally, Barkley plans to launch a series of new podcasts on The Steam Room, where he shares his life stories, from his impoverished days to the peak of glory, with a sincerity that melts listeners' hearts. The Charles Barkley of 2025 is proof that age cannot extinguish passion. He hasn't just survived the ups and downs, he's turned them into motivation to continue contributing. For those who admire him, this is a reminder that life is a game, and Barkley is still playing his best, leaving a mark that moves people's hearts and makes them believe in the power of perseverance. Charles Barkley, from a poor boy in Alabama who overcame prejudice to become an NBA star, living lavishly with mansions and luxury cars, but not avoiding scandals and failures, we see that success is not a straight path. He teaches us that you can start with nothing, fall hard from mistakes, but still rise stronger if you don't give up. From fierce rebounds to how he turns pain into laughter on TNT, Barkley reminds us that true value isn't in a championship ring, but in how you live authentically and inspire others, no matter what life throws at you. Finally, all the information in this video is gathered from reliable sources and is for reference only. We encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate information. Thank you for joining me in exploring the colorful story of Charles Barkley, a giant on the court and an irresistible personality in life. It's been great to share moments about Sir Charles with basketball fans like you. If you're moved by his journey, please hit like to support. Share this video with your family. And if you want to continue hearing more top-notch stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.